Hello, my name is Anne, and today I'm going to show you a few new features of iOS 12 on the iPad mini 2. Now, as you know, the iPad mini 2 is one of the oldest device to get iOS 12, um, which is like really crazy because Apple released this iPad mini 2 here nearly 6 years ago. So it was really came to a surprise to many people that Apple still supports this really old device on iOS 12, which is something that a lot of manufacturers don't do. So, with my excitement, I'm going to walk you through five notable features of iOS 12. Now, keep in mind that these five are big. There are a lot smaller ones. So, without any further ado, let's get started. So the first feature that I want to talk about, uh, like especially on the iPad side, is the new gesture system. Um, let me just give you a few demonstrations. So you're in the Photos app, and let me show you the new gesture system. So you want to go out in the applications. You can still click the home button to go out, or you do the regular pinch to go out. But you can now have a third option, is to swipe up to go home, which is exactly the same as the new iPhone 10 gesture system. In fact, almost every single aspect of the iPhone 10's gestures are implemented into the new iPads. Every single iPad, right? So again, you want to swipe up to go home. You want to swipe. You want to go to multitasking. You want to go ahead and swipe up and hold until you get to this view here. And one of the coolest thing about the new gesture system is that you can swipe up and slide over to get to the new, multitask to switch between apps, which is really nifty, as you can see, right? And again, you can still use the home button, right? But there is a new gesture system that you need to be aware of. There are other gestures as well. For example, you swipe down from the side, from the left side or the middle to get your notification center, or you can swipe from the right to get to your control center, which is the same as the iPhone 10 as well. Of course, from there you can go and customize your titles, your control stuff. So that's the first feature of the iOS 12. Now the next feature here isn't exactly a feature, but this is something that Apple has been focusing on iOS 12, and that's performance. Especially on this like very old device here, you're gonna notice some pretty big performance improvements. For example, launching the camera is 70% faster according to Apple. Or you go into an app, let's say a message application, it is 40% faster. And you, let's say, launch the keyboard, it's 50% faster. So that's pretty much what Apple says. This is the first beta of iOS 12, so no performance is still in a mix, which means that some load faster, some load the same, some load slower. So it's the first beta, so we can really know how performance is going to be on the public release. So that's the second feature. Now the next feature has been long anticipated, and now it's finally here, and that's the notification system. Okay, now there are a few new things here. First of all, is group notification. So it's finally here on the iPhone on the iOS 12, and this is the group notification. You see that when there is a bunch of notification, it's gonna be a title just lies behind notification, and just basically tap to expand those notifications, and that's similar to Android. But this is something that we really want to wait for a very long time, and you can go ahead and collapse them, expand them where you want. And there's a new feature. So if you swipe over the notification here, there are going to be a new tab called Manage, right? Tap on Manage. You can decide whether you want the notifications or not. For example, if you want it to show up but quietly, you can choose that, or you can completely turn it off, the notifications, or you can just go to settings to have more options on that. And we have a slightly newer interface. Wait, What the hell? Right, as you can see, we have a new user interface along with a couple of new options as well. So that's the notification on iOS 12. So the fourth feature is the new arrival of some new apps. The first app on the iPads is going to be the Stocks app. So the new Stock app has been redesigned in iOS 12 and is now available on the iPads as well. Now, basically, you have all those portfolios here, the new companies, how they're doing, their market share, how they're doing, and along with that, you have all those, and we have the new news feature, which is built in from the Apple News, and pretty much shows the business news, the news are related to the company, how they're doing, and their market share and stuff. And it's going to be very useful for investors. The next app that's now on the iPad is the voice memo. It's a small app, but it's very useful for someone who loves capturing audios and stuff. I mean, it's not the best, voice recording app. In fact, I prefer using iTalk or iCall more than rather than the voice memo apps. But it's good that they're here, and it's good that Apple implemented to the iPads. Now, unfortunately, they still haven't uh, put the necessary stocks app yet. For example, the weather app, it's still quite a long time since the original iPad. We haven't seen the weather app, the calculator app, which is pretty important, which is kind of disappointing. And I really wish Apple would put in iOS 13 and move forward. Now, feature number 5 is going to be screen time. Now, what exactly is screen time? You can find it in the settings app. It's basically a report of how long you've been using your iPhone, your iPad, iPod Touch in a specific on-screen time or by specific apps, specific days. For example, like I've been using my iPad for like over 2.5 hours now, and throughout that time I've been like and entertainmenting, just closer. Yeah, I've been on entertainment, been going on Safari, watching YouTube, going Google, and surfing Facebook, social networking, etc. And it shows me the very specific analysis of the apps that I use. Of course, in addition to that, we also have app limits. App limits is like settings, like setting app limits, the how long, the maximum time in which you should use the specific app. For example, you want to go ahead and let's say only watch movie for like an hour. So you just go ahead and entertainment, add, and you can set amount of minutes, hours that you set your limits for entertainment, for that sort of stuff. And that's really handy, most especially for children who usually do a lot of private things so much that their parents cannot keep track of what they're doing. So that's a very cool feature. So that's feature number 5. So that's basically the end of this video. So I hope you enjoy all the new features of iOS 12. I'm going to be posting my full review of iOS 12 beta 1 on the iPad mini 2 in a few days time. So make sure to follow me on Twitter, on YouTube, subscribe to me on YouTube, hit the like button down below if you enjoyed this video. Also comment as well for future suggestions as well. Anyways, thank you for watching and goodbye.